Ford had talked to Duke all the time.
Yeah.
He directed Duke. And I think Duke relied on him very much to direct him.
Lee Marvin finally breaks his silence on John Wayne. On the surface, these two should have been best friends. Both built careers on westerns and war films. Both projected a brand of toughness that audiences genuinely believed. Both were box office gold. But behind the scenes, Lee Marvin had a problem with John Wayne that ran deeper than any professional rivalry. Once you hear what it actually was, you'll understand why it never got resolved. Lee Marvin wasn't playing tough on screen. He earned it. In 1942, Marvin enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps at just 18 years old. He saw some of the most brutal combat of World War II in the Pacific. At the Battle of Saipan in 1944, his unit was decimated. Out of nearly 250 men in his company, only 6 survived the initial onslaught. Marvin was one of them, but he didn't walk away unscathed. He was struck by machine gun fire that severed his sciatic nerve. He spent over a year in naval hospitals and was awarded the Purple Heart. When he eventually stumbled into acting, his intensity wasn't a performance, it was his nature. By the 1960s, he was an Oscar winner and the star of The Dirty Dozen. He was the real thing, and he knew the difference between a soldier and an actor. That's exactly where John Wayne became a problem. John Wayne never served in the military. During World War II, while peers like Jimmy Stewart and Clark Gable walked away from fame to enlist, Wayne stayed in Hollywood. While Marvin was bleeding in the Pacific, Wayne was on a film set playing a hero in Sands of Iwo Jima. To most, that was just the movie business. To Lee Marvin, who had watched his friends die in the mud, it was a gap he could never bridge. He reportedly said, Wayne played soldier better than anyone, but he couldn't take the mud, the blood, or the bullets. The two clashed during the production of the Comancheros. Marvin saw a man wearing a costume. Wayne saw a man who didn't respect his legendary status. The tension never recovered. Marvin didn't dress it up when he talked about Wayne. He once remarked, "I've got nothing against John Wayne the movie star, but John Wayne the war hero? That's a costume, not a biography." He said it plainly, without cruelty, but without any softness. Wayne died in 1979. Marvin followed in 1987. They never made peace. But the final contrast between them wasn't found on a movie poster. It was found in where they were laid to rest. John Wayne is buried in a private memorial park in California, overlooking the Pacific. It is a monument to a Hollywood legend. But Lee Marvin, he chose a different path. Despite his fame, Marvin was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. He isn't buried among movie stars. He's buried in Section 7A, surrounded by the brothers he actually bled with, the men who knew what it was like when the cameras weren't rolling. For a man who carried actual bullet wounds to his grave, the gap between the image and the reality was simply impossible to forgive. In the end, the costume stayed in Hollywood, but the Marine went home. In Hollywood, the line between the legend and the man often gets blurred. But Lee Marvin refused to let that happen. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Marvin was right to hold this grudge? Or should he have separated the actor from the man? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into old Hollywood, hit that like button and subscribe to The Stars Gossip so you never miss an untold story. Thanks for watching.